Hey guys, it's Michael. Today I have 3 important updates that were just announced by Steven Mnuchin, Kevin Hassett, and other White House officials within the last couple of hours. And today what I'm going to do is I'm going to break down these updates. They apply to unemployment, states reopening, and the second stimulus package. But before we get started, it says that 95% of you watching this video are not subscribed to my channel. So if you'd like to stay up to date on the stimulus checks, on the stock market, on how to make money in general, then please be sure to subscribe to my channel so you can be notified when new videos come out. Anyways, let's jump right into it and let's go into the updates with states reopening. So, according to Steven Mnuchin in a Fox interview, he says that the president wants to work with the states to safely reopen the economy so we can safely get people back to work. So this is good news. They're saying that they're trying to work with states to reopen. Then he goes on to say how the White House is monitoring the economy and how reopening states goes. So as of right now though, states are still increasing in cases daily. The number of cases are still increasing and they shouldn't be opening up because according to Donald Trump's Opening Up America Again plan, it states in this plan that states should only start to open up when they see a downward trajectory in the number of cases. And right now there's over 31 states planned to be partially or fully opened as of Monday, tomorrow. And right now these states do not have a downward trajectory in the number of cases. So as of right now, they said that they're going to work with states to make sure that they're reopening safely and that the economy is reopening, but they're not following any of the guidelines that the White House said in the Opening Up America Again guidelines. So that doesn't really make a lot of sense to me. They said they're working with them to keep them safe, but none of the states are actually following the guidelines, so that doesn't really make a lot of sense. And then moving on, Kevin Hassett, who is the White House economic advisor, echoed exactly what Steven Mnuchin was saying. He said that they're also going to be monitoring states and the economies to see how reopening the states go with the economy and safety of people. So that's pretty standard. We all already know that everyone wants to reopen, but they want to make sure everything is safe. That's standard. Let's get into the actual important updates, which is with unemployment rates. So as of right now, the official unemployment rate had hit 14.7% in the unemployment and jobs report, which was announced on Friday last week. So that was for April. However, Kevin Hassett, the White House economic advisor, said that things are going to get a lot worse before they get better. So right now, the unemployment rate is 14.7%, but he predicts that the jobless rate could easily hit 20% next month, especially with over 3 million people filing for unemployment every single week the last couple of weeks. He thinks that we will definitely see a 20% unemployment rate, which hasn't been seen since the Great Depression in the 1930s. And he also says that he thinks that states may have to reimpose lockdowns because they might be opening up too soon and that this could have an even worse effect on the unemployment rate. So based on this so far, the states reopening and the unemployment rate, it seems like Kevin Hassett and Steven Mnuchin are both saying that they're going to monitor states opening up, be careful about that, but numbers are still getting worse. The coronavirus cases are getting worse daily, and unemployment they think is going to continue to get worse. You would think that if they're talking about states reopening and Steven Mnuchin says they're going to work with states closely to make sure everything goes well, you would think that that would mean they're predicting a better unemployment rate, that more people would start to be employed. But no, so that doesn't line up. They're saying on one hand that they're going to work safely, they're going to start reopening states, and they're going to make sure everything goes according to plan. But then on the other hand, they're saying unemployment's going to get even worse. And Steven Mnuchin said things are going to get worse before they get better. So that doesn't really line up, because if you're reopening, well then unemployment should go back down. People should start getting their jobs again. So those two things aren't lining up. Now let's go into the second stimulus package. We've all been hearing about how the Democrats and Nancy Pelosi have a huge bill that should be proposed later this coming week, and how it's going to be a massive stimulus package that will rival the first stimulus package and maybe even more money. So what Steven Mnuchin said is that before we rush back into the next bill and we spend more taxpayer money, we want to make sure that we're being thoughtful. So a lot of people think that he doesn't want a second stimulus package. So according to this, it seems like they're open to it. They want to make sure that they're thoughtful with how they spend the money because it's a lot of money. $3 trillion, $2 trillion, whatever it ends up being, that's a lot of money that taxpayers are going to have to pay for eventually. And when asked by a reporter, Steven Mnuchin said that additional stimulus checks is one of the things that we're considering on the list. He said that we now have over $3 trillion we're putting into the economy, and that's a lot of money is just beginning to get into the economy right now. He wants to wait and see once all this money has actually entered the economy and it actually has an effect. He wants to see what happens before they start spending more money. That is what Steven Mnuchin, who is the Secretary of the Treasury, thinks about a second stimulus package. But anyways, by the time any bill would reach the president, it's going to be a month, at least a month. So Nancy Pelosi is still proposing this, and they're going to start getting it underway, negotiations this week. But by the time the president would even see the bill and have to sign it off, it would be at least a month. So it makes sense that Steven Mnuchin says they have to be careful with how they're spending their money. Well, first of all, that's fine because they're not even going to have to sign it off before at least a month anyways. And then Kevin Hassett echoes what Steven Mnuchin says, and he says that he thinks it's a little premature given that we just spent trillions and trillions of dollars in aid in the past 3 months. He thinks it's a little premature to go ahead and pass another stimulus package right now. Well, that doesn't mean we're not getting another stimulus package. Everyone's talking about a second stimulus package, and people in the White House are basically saying we don't need it right now. But it doesn't matter because we're not getting one right now anyways. We're going to have to wait a month, maybe 2 months before it could even be passed because it has to be passed by the House, then the Senate, then the President. So even though White House officials and Steven Mnuchin are saying how we don't need one right now, by the time it gets to them, we're probably going to need one. And then one last good note from Steven Mnuchin on a second stimulus package is he says that being slow to spend money doesn't mean that we're not willing to spend money. So that's exactly what we've been talking about in this whole video. That White House officials, they're saying we need to wait, we need to be patient, we want to see how the money we just spent is being used, we want to see how it works before we go off and run and spend more money. And that's exactly what he says at the end of the interview. He says, just because we're being slow to spend it doesn't mean we're unwilling. And really, in reality, it's going to take a while anyways for a second stimulus package to pass. So while Steven Mnuchin says they're being slow, really they can't do anything right now anyways until the bill is passed by the House and by the Senate. So nothing can happen right now. We're all just waiting for Nancy Pelosi and the House Democrats to get this next massive bill proposed. So anyways, I'll keep you updated on what happens with the second stimulus package. As soon as Nancy Pelosi and the House Democrats propose a bill, I'll make sure to let you guys know what's in it, what it says. Anyways, that's all I got for you guys today. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to get your 2 free stocks valued up to $1,400 when you sign up for the Webull investing app. 1 free stock when you sign up for Robinhood. Don't forget to check out our links down below and join our Power of Finance investors group as well as our Discord group community chat. Thank you so much for watching. Please be sure to like the video down below, leave a comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time.